Am. So, I know I won't be here tomorrow, but you're still responsible to watch the video and do your homework. Submit your video answer, and I would know it will be timestamped so I know exactly who did it or who didn't. Sound good? Alright. Now we're moving on to solving. So we actually add, subtracted, multiply, and divide rational expressions. Basically, we add, multiply, divide fractions. So now, how do we solve fractions? You've probably seen this before in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, and your teacher probably taught you to cross multiply. Sound good? Well, I'm going to do it both ways, and cross multiplying is good if you understand what you're doing. If you don't understand what you're doing, now it becomes a procedure, it becomes just steps, and we want to move away from what do I do to something more concrete, like why am I doing this? And why does it work? And can you explain it to me? Sound good? So, let's say this is a regular problem. How would you solve for x? That means get x by itself, move everything else on the other side. This is problem number 1, by the way. Can you label this number 1, please? First of all, I want to get rid of the denominator. How do I get rid of this x right here? Very good. I multiply both sides by x. Multiply both sides by x. This becomes 7 equals 2 over 6x. So far, so good. How do I get rid of that 2 over 6? Multiply by the reciprocal both sides. 2 over 6. Oh, sorry. 6 over 2, 6 over 2. 6 over 2, 6 over 2, which simplifies to become x equals, that becomes 42 over 2, which is 21. Also, what is 6 divided by 2? Right, that's 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Same thing. Very good. That's how you solve this problem the right way. Actually, the concrete way where everything you learn. And I know sometimes your teachers told you how to cross multiply. And you have to understand, cross multiplying is actually the same thing. So I'm going to show you the same way using cross multiply. 2 over 6 equals 7 over x. So how does cross multiply work? Basically, I'm multiplying both sides by x. By multiplying both sides by x, I'm multiplying the numerator by x to get rid of that denominator. Does that kind of make sense? I want to get rid of the 6 also, so I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. So take a look. If I multiply both sides by x, that becomes 2x. If I multiply both sides by 6, that becomes 42, and that gets rid of the denominators. Divide by 2, x equals 21. So do you understand how they're kind of related, or they're the same thing? Hopefully, yes. If you don't, then please ask your brothers and sisters, or ask me when I get back. Or write me an email and I answer them. How do you know your answers are right? Well, look at your two fractions. You have 2 over 6, which is 1/3, reducing. And you have 7 over x. What is 7 over x? That's the same thing as 7 over 21, which is also 1/3. You see how your fractions are the same? Therefore, your answer is correct. How do you feel about this? Good? Little iffy? Next problem. This is problem number 2. Can you label this problem number 2, please? Solve for x. First of all, I'm going to do one of two ways. Actually, I'm going to cross multiply for you. Cross multiply, that becomes 3 times x minus 1. Cross multiply, that becomes 5 times 4. 3 times x minus 1 is 3x minus 3 equals 20. Solve for x, add 3 to both sides. 3x equals 23. X equals 23 over 3. Very good. So how do you feel? Good? A couple things I didn't talk about. We talk about restrictions. So what can't x be? If you look in this problem, x can't be 1. So you look at your answer. Did you say x is 1? No, so you're good to go. Same thing with the last problem. What can't x be? X can't be 0. Is your answer 0? No, so you're good to go. So with these type of problems, what you have to do is you have to check your answer to make sure that your answer is not one of the restrictions. Is that clear? So you have to make sure your answer is not one of the restrictions. Last problem. We'll make this video short. Solve for x. Same thing, I'm going to cross multiply. Multiply here to here, it becomes 6x times x minus 3 equals Multiply here to here, that becomes x squared minus 9 times 1. Distribute. 6x squared minus 18x equals x squared minus 9. Crap. This is a quadratic. I showed you 3 ways to solve a quadratic. Factoring, complete the square or quadratic formula. So actually, let's move everything else to one side, set equals 0, and see if we can factor. Minus x squared to both sides, I got a 5x squared. Minus 18x plus 9 equals 0. Alright, can I factor that? That looks like 3, 15, 2. I can actually. Very good. So this becomes, break it down. Pause it and see if you can factor it by yourself. I got a 5x and an x. I got a minus 3 and a minus 3. That means 5x minus 3 equals 0. X equals 3 over 5. Over here, x equals 3. Sound good? Perfect. How do you feel about this? Is this the right answer? If you said no, then you're correct. What happened here? Let's look at the restrictions. What can't x be? X cannot be 3 and negative 3. Take a look. We said one of the answers is 3. That is not possible, because if I plug that in, that will give me 0 in the denominator. I will screw up. This is not an answer. So you only have one answer here. It's 3 over 5. Very good. This is problem number 2. Hopefully you're keeping track. Next one. Or this is problem number 3. Hopefully you're keeping track. So, for your homework here, I want you to go back and just put the answer down for problem number 2 to make sure that you watch this video. Can you go back and put the answer down for problem number 2, please? Alright. How do you feel? Good? Have a great day tomorrow.